Hello! Today I'll be reading Giraffes Can't Dance. Gerald was a tall giraffe whose neck was long and slim, but his knees were awfully crooked and his legs were rather thin. He was very good at standing still and munching shoots off trees, but when he tried to run around, he buckled at the knees. Hump! Down he falls. Now every year in Africa they hold a jungle dance where every single animal turns up to skip and prance. And this year, when the day arrived, poor Gerald felt so sad, because when it came to dancing, he thought he was rather bad. The warthogs started waltzing, and the rhinos rocked and rolled, and the lions danced a tango that was elegant and bold. The chimps all did a cha-cha with a very Latin feel, and 8 baboons then all teamed up for a splendid Scottish reel. Gerald swallowed bravely as he walked towards the floor, but the lions saw him coming and they began to roar. "Hey, look at clumsy Gerald!" all the animals sneered. "Giraffes can't dance, you silly fool. Oh, Gerald, you're so weird." And Gerald simply froze up. He was rooted to the spot. "They're right," he thought. "I'm useless at dancing. Oh, I feel like such a clot." And so he crept off from the dance floor, and he started walking home. Gerald had never felt so sad before. So sad and so alone. And then he found a little clearing and he looked up at the sky. "Oh, the moon can be so beautiful," he whispered with a sigh. "Excuse me," coughed a cricket, who had seen him early on, "but sometimes when you're different, you just need a different song. Listen to the swaying grass and listen to the trees. To me, the sweetest music is those branches in the breeze. So imagine, Gerald, that the lovely moon is playing just for you. Everything makes music if you really want it to." And with that, the cricket smiled and picked up his violin, and then Gerald felt his body do the most amazing thing. His hooves started shuffling, making circles on the ground, and his neck was gently swaying, and his tail was swishing around. And then he threw his legs out sideways, and he swung them everywhere, and then he did a backward somersault and leapt up in the air. Gerald felt so wonderful, and his mouth was open wide. "I am dancing! Yes, I'm dancing! I'm dancing!" Gerald cried for joy. And then one by one, each animal who had been there at the dance arrived while Gerald boogied on, and they watched him quite entranced. They shouted, "It's a miracle! We must be in a dream! Gerald is the best dancer that we've ever seen!" "How did you learn to dance like that? Gerald, please tell us how." But Gerald simply twirled around and finished with a bow. Then he raised his head and looked up at the moon and stars above. "We all can dance," he said, "when we find music that we love." The end. Thank you for listening.